Bluegill. I'm fishing for bluegill today, and I'm going to show you guys a cheap way to transport bait, because I'm going to use these bluegill as bait. Let me grab it. And the bait bucket is a Firehouse bucket. Firehouse pickle bucket. Have an aerator on it. You don't have to have an expensive aerator like what I use. You can get one of the cheap ones at Academy. And you could use an air stone if you're just taking them home. If you want them to last a few days, you need my contraption here. Whoops. And see, it can come apart easily. But this is like a shrimp filter over a PVC pipe. I've got holes underneath this, and then a hole for the air to go in. So basically, air goes in it, bubbles out, and gets filtered, or at least the water gets filtered. So you got both aeration and a little bit of filtration. And this will keep bluegills, like this one, alive, which I can't catch. There you go. It'll keep bluegills like this alive for days. And I'm going to try to catch some more bluegill here, and I might actually move because I have the wind against me. It's blowing against the bank, making it hard for me to cast with my ultralight rod and reel. A lot of little ones out there, and it took my gulp minnow. Just a quick rundown of my setup. Gulp minnow with a trout magnet head, jig head, trout magnet bobber, 4-pound line. Really simple. Oh, missed another one. The wind is making it harder to cast, and it's pushing the bait towards me, so I don't have a tight line when I'm trying to, set the hook. Too many small ones here. So I am going to try to move. At least I caught one, and I'm not skunked. So that means I will go to the waterfall where I got skunked last time and see if my fortunes are different. Alright, I'm here at what we call the waterfall, and hopefully something's here to bite today. Some of my friends seem to catch fish here really, really easy. But for me, this is always seems to be a difficult spot. One of the places where I have trouble catching fish at. And this time, got my line wrapped up now. And this time, I'm not seeing any fish down there. Last time, there was like a 5-pound largemouth just swimming around, and he did look at my gulp minnow one time, but he wouldn't eat it. And I did get like a little bass to grab it, but I didn't land it. I guess I'm going to try over here and then move on. Alright, looks like this spot is not panning out, and there's a lot more algae here than there was last time that I fished it. So I guess I'm going to continue moving on and try a couple more spots before I give up or get overheated. It is a hot day, it's in the 90s, but I'm going to try to power through it and try to catch some more bluegill. Alright, here's a spot where I've caught bluegill before in the past. In fact, I made a bobber video here one time catching bluegill. I think it was in the fall or winter. And I've had several comments on that video saying I was using a circle hook wrong. And I've since left circle hooks behind when it comes to bluegill fishing because it seems that these jig heads hook them better and they don't hook them in the gut as often as a circle hook. And that was actually thanks to one of you telling me to, try jig heads instead of circle hooks for bluegill fishing. And it's working. I still use circle hooks for bigger fish like catfish, but for bluegill, this has been working. So thank you, whoever told me that a long time ago, I think. Now someone did get rid of the cedar tree that was in the water here, and that cedar tree was attracting bluegill. But there should be something here, somewhere. No green sunfish around the rocks. Well, found one. It was next to the rocks at the end. Well, now I can say how to transport 2 bait fish cheaply. 2 bluegill. It is hot out here, so I'm going to leave the bucket in the truck and take this guy up there and put him in the bucket. Or give me a chance to be in the shade for a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to go at it again. Nice hot afternoon. Missed it. I think that was a green sunfish I just missed. I think there's a couple in the rocks at the end. There we go. That's a good one. This might actually not be a green sunfish. I think this is a redeye rockfish or whatever. I don't know what they're called. The sun is probably blowing it out. Really cool looking in person. It's that big red eyes. Camera is definitely in the wrong place. Let me move the camera. Look at that. Cool looking fish. I think he's too cool to keep, so I'm going to let him go. There he goes. Having the camera in the shade helps keep it from overheating, but it also hurts the image a little bit. I've still got my goat minnow. Put it right back out. See if I can catch one more. Well, I was hoping he'd stay there. Had a dragonfly on my rod. Me too. catching them right at the bank. And of course I dropped them. Little bluegill. I'm gonna put them in my bucket. I know that bluegill had a bunch of dirt on it, but my filter should clear all the dirt off of it. Oop. Wrapped up. I don't know why I keep casting it out there. There we go. Another one of these guys, the redeye. Maybe this is a green sunfish. Maybe that's what they look like in the summer. I don't think so. I don't think green sunfish have a red eye. I think these are like the red-eyed rock bass or whatever. The bass fishermen, they catch these a lot. And surprised I haven't caught a green. I guess what's hit me over there is not green sunfish, but it's these guys. I'm not going to keep them. Just going to let them go. And he tore up my gulp minnow pretty good. And I am just about out of gulp minnows. So I think I'm going to try one more spot to see if I can get some bigger bluegill, and then I'm going to call it. And I think I might actually only have like 2 gulp minnows left. Alright, my last spot is taken, so I'm going to use this as an opportunity to get out of the heat. I got a couple of bluegill, and I got to showcase a cheap way to transport live bait. And I've actually done this before in the past. And it's been a long time since I made a Firehouse bucket video, whatever. And these things are great. You know, you get them, you know, from Firehouse subs. That money supposedly goes to firehouses, and you get a nice bucket for an incredible deal that you can use with your live bait. Now, I do know it smells like pickles for a while, and I found the pickles, they don't really mess with the bait. I've used them straight out of the, the restaurant or whatever, and put water in it, took it to the lake, put bluegill in it, no problem. It just, you end up, making your truck or car smell like pickles if you put it inside after you buy them. But yeah, you need an aerator. I've got an expensive lithium rechargeable aerator, but like I said, you can use any aerator that you want with something like this. Just got to make sure it's charged up and has batteries in it so the bluegill actually stay alive. And I can't talk about this. I mean, I got to talk about this a lot, I guess. I'm partially proud that I made this, but I did figure this out from the aquarium trade. This is what they use to keep baby fish alive, fry, and even shrimp, just, smaller animals. But in a case like this can get like, that bluegill had mud on it, so that mud mixes with the water. Well, if you have an air stone, it stays in the water and the fish breathe it in. But with this, that mud gets pulled through this and it cleans it up. So you can accidentally drop your bluegill like I do all the time, and they, stay alive. And that water has actually cooled off because of the bubbler. When I first had this water in here, it was really warm. That lake water is probably 85 degrees, maybe higher. And because of this filtration and me driving down the road, it has pulled some of that heat out, and it's cooled the water down considerably, which is good for the fish. I'm going to take these guys home, add them to the 2 bluegill I have left in my bait tank at home, and I may go fishing again for bluegill later today or tomorrow, because I want to get a few up and try to do some flathead fishing with them. The flathead should be coming off the nest now, and they should be hungry. All I need is a break from my guided trips. I've been getting a lot of guided trips, and all the 99.9% of my guided trips are early morning, which means I can't stay up late to flathead fish. And in this heat, I don't think a flathead would really bite in the middle of the day unless it's like early morning, late evening, a cooler day, something like that. But right now, we're just going to see what happens. I've actually talked about in a previous video how I've been wanting to live bait for flatheads. And it's the guided trips, I will admit. I'm trying to do daily videos too, which, you know, makes me have to do some talking head videos in my house. And I'm going to try to do it for the entirety of July. And it is really hot, so it causes me to get skunked, and it also, you know, makes me not want to actually be out in 100-degree weather. It's they said it's, you know, next few days is cooling off, and cooling off is, instead of being 100 degrees, it's 90 degrees, 90. But anyway, as always, I want to thank you for taking your time out of your day to actually watch this video. I really, really appreciate it. And let me know if you have ever done a bucket like this before. And maybe even used, you know, my little filtration system. I have a very popular short about it. I've talked about it before in past videos. I'm curious to if any of you have actually used this successfully like I have. Just let me know. And thanks again for watching. I hope to see you next time.